Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. It's season 13. We are starting out tonight strong.
As they do go side by side. It is the formation lap almost done. They will look, all eyes to the lights. That's going to be an amazing start.
And we have a crash in turn 1 already. What's going on?
On to the bus stop straight. Goes for it around the outside.
More contact behind. That is huge. A couple of gainers in that one.
She's given it everything. She has to. I'm not sure that it's over yet, though.
This is the last opportunity. We're off and away for SRA.
Hola y bienvenidos a Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Welcome to Spain. We're at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona. It's actually in a little town, for those that don't know, outside called Montemeo. Opened in 1991. It's a 16-turn circuit that features F1 and pretty much every kind of racing series you can imagine. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. First, once again, for the 7th week in a row, I am here, Jay Queasy, with my trusty co-commentator and teammate in Division 3, Justin Meatball Rosenthal. Justin, another week. We're almost there. How are you feeling?
Oh man, it's gonna be another exciting night of SRA racing. Tonight especially, since we have no idea what the weather's gonna be like.
Yeah, no idea is a completely accurate statement. Let's go over to the season calendar. So, as you can see on here, guys, we're in round 7. We've done Indianapolis, Kota, Snetterton, Spa, Hungaroring, Red Bull Ring, and we are here at the variable weather Barcelona. Now, what that means is, for the first time in SRA history, we have as much idea as you as to what weather we can expect. Last night, myself and Justin took to the Division 3 streets around here and plied our trade very poorly. I myself got a drive through, and Justin was struggling, I think, with a bit of the weather, or trying out your wheel for the first time, actually, Justin. So that's
yeah.
You know,
First race on the wheel, qualified last. Finished second to last, so solid. If you ask me,
it was a successful outing. But yes, it was variable weather, so you know it was mental, right? So the gold's got the better rub of the green in terms of weather. It started out raining for the silver qualification, and you know got drier as the silver qualification went on, which meant that you know we started with a very realistic, but we started out with a very clear division. The gold drivers were on top, the silver drivers were back where they arguably belong, considering both me and Justin are silver drivers, so nobody get angry at me for saying that. And the race itself was just chaotic. It was a rainy start, it was a dry sort of middle, and then the heavens opened again on the last 20 minutes. So who knows what D6 have in store for them today. But ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in, because we are in the right place to find out. So Justin, let's go over to the track map, and I've got the track facts in front of me, so if you don't mind, I'll quickly rattle them through. This is opened in 1991, just in time for the 92 Olympics, the back when motorsport was a feature of the Olympics. The length is 4.657 kilometers, or 2.894 freedom miles, 16 turns, and a mix of high-speed corners. It's a very, very technical track. You can see a lot of those sort of mid-speed, high-speed corners, and that last chicane is just the worst. So let's go through T1. T1 is called Elf Corner. It's a tight right-hander after a really long straight. It's dive bomb central. It was last night, and it's named after the fuel company, not Santa's workshop. Turn 3 is Renault. It's a long, sweeping right-hander, commitment corner, understeer city, especially if you don't get your front tyres dialed in, and if you're not disciplined on the throttle as well. There's a theme developing then with turn 4, which is Repsol corner. It's another right-hander, and it's often a bit overlooked, but it can be really sneaky for the momentum going into sector 2. So it's very grip dependent. You really have to maximize everything you can around the circuit in order to get it working. Turn 5 is called Seat. So a tight left, tricky on traction. It really is. It's going to be a first gear corner for a lot of the drivers tonight, maybe second if they're trying to maximize grip on the exit instead of exit speed. But if you don't get the exit right, you just say goodbye to that entire section. It's an absolute nightmare, and it can really make and break your overall lap time. Turn 7 and turn 8 is Kamsa and Lakeha. I think Keha is how you say it. It's a fast uphill, fast left-hand turn 9. Excuse me. It's a fast uphill right-hander turn 9. Again, a slightly off camber. It's really difficult to judge. Normally going to be about a third gear corner for our drivers, maybe fourth if they're feeling brave. And it's really easy to pick up track limits. And speaking of track limits, turn 10 now. A very tight hairpin. It's a tight braking zone. It's a tight dive bomb zone. It's a terrible exit. You know, that's where I got a lot of my track cuts last night, was on that exit. And then you move into just around turn 12 and then go to turn 13 and turn 15, which is called New Holland, or the chicane. It's the most hated segment in sim racing. It's an awful killjoy chicane that leads onto the main straight. It's so bad, in fact, that the Formula 1 or the FIA or the F1 whoever management insisted to get it changed for F1 races. So that corner no longer exists in F1 races. But we're not here on F1. We're here on assettocorsacompetizione. We're here with the Sim Racing Alliance, and we are here with the GT3s. Justin, thoughts after last night on this circuit?
Well, the biggest thing is, if it rains, the curves are going to be a nightmare. And here, a lot of turns require you to take a little bit of curb exiting. You can do it on some of the turns, like coming out of turns 8, turns 9. I mean, you'll get a little slippery in it, but it's not where you want to be. And especially going into that long turn 3 right-hander, I mean, that understeering, I mean, when it's wet, you're just kind of like spinning the tires behind you and just hoping and praying that you don't slide off in the mix of things. So yeah, really keep a lookout there. I mean, we have no idea. I mean, the wet weather is tricky. The dry weather is tricky. It's a difficult, like you said, technical track.
It really is. And the one thing as well that a lot of people don't understand, especially, a lot of people miss, especially when it comes to drier racing, is the way that this circuit absolutely lights up your left-hand tires. I mean, it is just an absolute disaster when it comes to your left-hand tires. So guys are really, if there is a dry patch and they're on wet tires, you know, these guys have really got to manage their tire temperatures. But without that and further ado, let's go on to the driver's standings and see, as we're going into the penultimate race, exactly where our drivers stand. Justin, go ahead and walk everybody through the leaderboards.
Well, Mark DC has a chance tonight to close it out for the golds. If he has a fantastic race, I mean, honestly, even if he wins the race tonight, it will pretty much solidify the winning of D6. But, you know, Dylan Bonsall doesn't mean that you are completely out. I mean, Glenn Jacobs, I mean, again, same thing. If Dylan Bonsall has a absolute terrible race, he might be able to get in for that second. But between the top 3, there's pretty much I don't believe any more movement really will happen unless there's something severe that happens.
No, I mean, Mark DC needs to have a disaster tonight, right? And I think, did Dylan not confirm with us last week that he's not able to make tonight? I think, I remember that?
I thought it was, I want to say it was Red Bull. He said that he couldn't make it.
Was it?
Or maybe, no.
I'm sure it was this race, yeah. I mean, let me just check.
Or maybe it's...
Let me just have a quick look for the sake of the stream. Let's just double check it.
As you're going through there,
Dylan Bonsil. Yeah, go on. You go ahead.
I was say as we go through there, 4th and 5th, Juicy Jake, Sasha Dickhouse. I mean, they've been fantastic drivers all season long. Just kind of looking in there for a top 5 finish. Moving over to the silvers, we got Sean Paul, who is leading the silvers with 210, and then Travis Fletcher a little far behind too. I want to say the same thing as Sean Paul. It just needs to have a good race tonight, and that will pretty much solidify him for the silver as well. So after 6 races so far, we're pretty much going to be able to solidify going into the last race of who will have the gold championship, who will have the silver championship, and pretty much the overall team championship.
I think as well, just to make it absolutely crystal clear on that, I've just checked. Dylan Bonsall, it is tonight that he's not able to attend. So that means that unless Mark DC has an absolute disaster, and I mean, you know, he's out, you know, and unless that happens, it's pretty much confirmed that by the end of this race, Mark DC will be taking home the gold championship. But the silver championship certainly has a lot more to go in it. So yeah, that's where we're at with gold. It's all for DC to finish and bring home tonight.
Yeah, I mean, silver, I believe, is the same thing too. 210 to 178. I mean, you're gonna have to make up some ground significantly there. But yeah, like you said, I mean, if both Sean Paul and Mark DC both have fantastic races, then I believe that should solidify it. I mean, maybe not. We'll have to see where everything flattens out. But switching on over to the team standings, we have the Boatley Busters Racing at number 1, 758. And then Champion Motorsports Slippery Shift is right behind them too. I mean, the 54 points is feasible. I mean, Dylan Bonsall's not here, so maybe not. I lied. Yeah, I mean, so I guess Mark DC and Brian Ako might be able to take out and finish this one here as well, possibly. I mean, Justin Muntean may have a fantastic race to hold them in there to get it into the final race of the season, but that Reckham Racing team at 3, Juicy Peters Racing at 4, and Baseline Keen Wood Racing at 5. I mean, it's pretty much where it goes. I think
it depends. You know, they could have if Acom and DC both have a messy race, it takes it all down to the last race with Bonsall, with Muntean. But yeah, I think Muntean will have to show up tonight and do well. So anyway, let's go over to the race where the silver drivers are out on track. We're on board with Pookie Dana, who's taken the leap ahead of everybody else, and he's just working his way through Sector 3 now to start the first hot lap of the session. And Justin, the thing I immediately notice is it's dry.
Oh yeah, it's dry. Lucky them.
It's dry, and it looks like it's going to stay dry as well for the session. So yeah, lucky them.
Yeah, I mean, this is we took a look during the Monday practice race to see what the conditions were like for them as well. But this is exactly what it was for them, I believe, on Monday for the practice race. Dry quality, dry race, possibly again.
Who knows? We certainly don't, but we'll find out.
Nope.
Yeah, so yeah, dry race. So Pookie Dana then starting his first hot lap, and let's go ahead and have a look and see what he can do. So we're coming through turn 2 now, which is a bit of a setup into turn 3. Now you want to slightly lift off the throttle here, keep the grip underneath you, gently reapply the throttle, but you want to try and maximize your exit here to really carry all that speed, and you want to be on those curves. So Dana taking a bit of a tight entry into turn 4. Tries to come out and maximize it, going into that hairpin now. And like I said, pretty much down to first gear for this hairpin, and you want to try and maximize again your exit and get as far out onto that AstroTurf as you can. This is all about the setup now. Far over to the right, downshift into second gear, or third gear in Dana's case, and come up to this awkward right-hander. So a little bit of a lift in third gear. and try and accelerate out over those curbs. I think Dana is still in wet weather mode. You know, he's not going onto the curbs. He's still thinking that they're slippery, but they're certainly not at the moment. This is Lakeha then, which is a terrible corner. And you come through another tricky, long hairpin right-hander. Second gear is here. You maximize your exit. Now you're coming into the tight final chicane. It's a tight right-hander. You're going to be in second gear. That's going to be an invalidation for Pookie Dana.
Oh, he's a little all over. That's all right. I'm taking the first thing I noticed, actually, taking a look at just his lap as well, is that it looks like they're driving almost like the wet lines. I mean, maybe the server that they had in practice before. Yeah, notice you really right there. I mean, even for Jeremy, you would really want to run out there and get as much speed as you possibly can, and then straighten the wheel out.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It looks like they're it's hard when you've been practicing all week in so many different variations of weather, and I mean, most of at least the practice for what I've had this week has been in like greasy track and wet conditions. To switch over and realize that I can ride this curb,
exactly.
You gotta have that mindset again.
As well.
Yeah.
So, Mason Moore, Sean Paul, neither of them improving initially on Jeremy Rand's lap time. Now, we'll see what happens as they get a bit more confident. It looks like Sean Paul's trying to maximise a little bit of using that curb. Personally, I'm even more further over, and I think a lot of drivers are as well. But it's just a confidence thing, like you're saying, getting used to the dry conditions. And I would say, so Akuna Matata with a great lap time there of a 1:48.7. I think for silver, the goal in a dry condition, I would say the silver, excuse my hiccups, the silver classification should probably be aiming for around about, I think a good time would be a 1:47, a mid 1:47. I think if you're a silver driver is a solid lap time. So a little bit of time left here, and we'll see if these guys again, who've been practicing all week in probably really different conditions, and we'll see if anybody can really wake up their tyres and get through there. I think Peter Pan set another lap time as well, just behind Akuna Matata, and he's now returned to the pits. We'll go on board with Mason Hall then, Justin, who he's struggled this season. Hasn't struggled so much in the qualifying, but he's really... as Pookie Dana does a 1:48.4. But yeah, Mason, he's really struggled with the races himself. Struggled to keep it clean, and the problem with struggling to keep it clean means he's just not going... As he goes a bit wide there, keeps it still valid, but it's not going to be a great exit for him.
Ooh,
he just needs to focus. If he can have a couple of races without contact, I really think Mason does have the pace to finish a lot higher than he has been. So definitely want to keep an eye on today. He's only going to get better as it goes on. As Sean Paul takes a close second place behind Jordan Pookie Dana. But Akuna Matata is on a charge, sets a 1:48.1. So the lap times are tumbling, Justin.
They are. I also realized that it's a fast track as well, so it's gonna be a little bit more slippery-ish. I mean, not as like wet slippery, but your back end tends to go out a little bit. But overall, I mean, it looks like they're kind of getting a grip with things here. They should be able to get in about another lap or so. Maybe Akuna Matata, we'll get one. People finishing up their laps now, they have enough field to be able to get two in. But I believe that we'll see a bunch of significant times throughout here in these last couple laps here in the silver. As we switch over to Pookie, taking a whole lot of curb there.
He's that curb. Can he improve? As he comes through,
he is significantly down on his time, but that's all right. One solid lap here. Oh, it's a great view here. You want to swing it in right.
Peter Pan struggling there with T1 in the dry. Don't know why we're looking at the rear end of Jeremy Ram, but here we are anyway. Going into T1. What a fantastic view. There we go. That looks like
Nice
a
bit
much
right
more
there.
controlled. Yeah, that's a great little section he's done there. Really well controlled. I like that.
Just want to let off a little bit around here, just so you can get that car to turn in. Yep, looking not too
Yeah,
bad.
he took a bit of an alternative line. I don't know if it's faster, but it was certainly a bit different. But he certainly, looked great going through there, actually, as Peter Pan comes off the track to let him through. It looked a great entry and a great exit. I think Jeremy Rand knows what he's doing on Barcelona by the looks of it. Great
Yeah, it looks
exit
like he's
there.
trying to squeeze that time. That was just about a 10th off of his best lap, but can be made up in a couple of corners.
Really good lines. Really liking this from Jeremy Rand. Really liking it. What's he up at the moment? He's down actually at the moment by 0.2.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's so. Something must have happened
As
between
Tim
then and there. I
Parkinson,
mean,
who is a gold driver, seems to be out qualifying at the moment with the silvers, so might get a bit of a penalty for that, Tim Parkinson.
Tim, if you're listening, go back. Go back. Yeah, you want to go as wide as you possibly can. Yeah. There you go. It's actually not that bad. So yeah, I mean, pretty much everyone getting here this will be their final lap for the silver. A quick little buffer period between the 10:30 mark and the 10-minute mark, and then as the 10-minute mark goes across, the golds will go out.
They certainly will, and I'm just now taking a look because I see Gordon Beverly Jr. in the pits. I see Travis Fletcher in the pits. So I just want to have a quick review of the penalties for this week. We have Rohan Devanini with a pit lane start. We have Gordon Beverly Jr. with a pit lane start. We have Matthew Hopkins with a qualifying ban. And Travis Fletcher and Hunter Lowe with qualifying bans. So a lot of penalties. Oh, okay, yep, that's off. A lot of penalties. So that's why it's looking a bit thin at the moment for qualifying, with only 7 of them out there, and and Parkinson. What's
Gordon
probably...
Beverly.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, did not mean to cut you off there. I was going to say that Gordon Beverly Jr. having that pit start is going to be a huge impact to the race, because Imola has one of the longest pit lanes for all of the tracks, I would say, that is within ACC, next to Indianapolis, because, that's something else. So, I mean, we had a pit lane start for D3, and that was about 25 seconds behind the pack of everybody last night. I know, because I was the last person in that.
So you weren't lost.
But I wasn't last, so it didn't matter in the end, so... But, I mean, as a driver where, it could possibly come out to being wet, it's a huge disadvantage on this track, at least to say.
Yeah, it definitely is. We'll see what happens. I'm interested to see what will happen with Parkinson. Is he going to try and do a double stint? I don't know.
No, I believe he's in the pits. As I can see from our engineer on the left-hand side of my screen so far, I see that he is in the pits. So maybe God can...
Do you see he's in the pits? Because I actually don't see him...
Yeah,
oh, yeah,
Parkinson.
Tim Parkinson. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is in the pits. Yeah, good. I don't know what we're looking at, but we're going to go ahead to Cameron Hastings, who's leading out the pack. Car 139 in the ever so bright and colourful themed livery, and it looks like he was just losing it, so I'm glad we got away from that at the right time. Let's talk then. So we'll forget about Mark DC for the time being, because it's pretty much a done and dusted job. Who for you, Justin, so far through the 7 races, the season that we've seen so far, who's your sort of your biggest winner? As in, who's most
Jake,
improved?
I believe, is...
Who's really sort of impressed you?
Well, I would say if we're talking about who's impressed with the most, it'd be Juicy Jake. Starting... Ooh, looks like Glenn Jacobs took a lot of curve there. Juicy Jake starting the season late and still able to pull himself into a top 5 I mean, it's been impressive. I mean, his first 2 races on were nothing short of, what we would come to expect him to be all season long. Cameron Hastings as well has been a big surprise. He at multiple races this season has been put in like incidents and has been able to climb his way through the pack again and get himself pretty solid finishes. So I mean, Cameron has done a great job on staying determined even in the worst of worst situations.
Yep. I hear what you're saying. I just so the Pookie Brigade has turned up in the chat. Just Sarah Thing saying yes, we are here for Pookie, and Carmen Valdez saying yes, always supporting the Pookie. Kiss. So the Pookie Brigade are on board, and Witcho99, welcome back as well. Seems like it'll be an interesting race with that weather. Yes, sir, it certainly will. We don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, very interested to see anyway. We don't know, and we already don't know when it's D6 on the track. So, but yeah, to go back to what we were saying, Justin, I think man on the cameras right now, Mike Cook, again, been one of my. Was on the camera. Yeah, he is in the camera, Mike Cook.
He is on the camera.
Certainly. He always is, and I think he's just had a really bad rub of the green, so I'm really impressed with Mike Cook for sticking with it as well and turning up and producing some fantastic results. Who else has really surprised me this season? As you said, Juicy Jake can't be ignored. I think I'm just having a look through the names here. Sean Paul, he's done really well for his debut into it. We've got a lot of debutantes this season, which is awesome to see, as always. And again, if you want to get involved, you have all the information down in the details. If you fancy applying your trade, if you're looking at Mike Farrell, if you're looking at Mark DC and thinking, yeah, I could take him on, then you certainly have all the details that you need there below to come and prove it. So, yeah, Brian Acombe, I think he's had a better season this season than he did last season. A much cleaner season, with the exception of Spa. We'll forget it's Spa. But, yeah, I think for this race, though, my money, I don't know what it is, but my money is... I think it's on Juicy. I think I'm going to go with Juicy. I think my podium, my top 3 is going to be Juicy Jake, I think Mike Cook, and I think Justin Muntean as well. That's my top 3: Jake, Cook, and Muntean. What about yourself?
I actually think that Hastings will take first today. I think
Hastings can. I think he can.
Yeah.
But he needs to keep it clean. He needs to keep his nose out of trouble. He needs to stop.
As he comes across the line, and he is just off the pole position. If it was me today, I'm picking Hastings. I'm taking Mark DC, and
we're not allowed to pick Mark DC. Can't pick Mark DC.
But he's gonna get a podium.
Can't pick Mark DC. It's cheating.
Can't pardon Mark
DC. It's cheating.
No, I believe Cameron Hastings will do a great job. I think Juicy Jake will do a great job. Honestly, I feel like a sleeper is going to be Garzozzi. Garzozzi has had
good all season.
He has been a sleeper. The leaderboards doesn't really show the true speed that he has had. I mean, he's been caught up in a lot of unfortunate accidents throughout the season and been collected in some as well. But yeah, I think Garzozzi will be a person to watch out for, and I don't give him a chance at the third.
I don't think it's a bad shout. I really don't. I feel for Garzozzi because he's had. If you look him back, he's had a good season. he's had a good season.
He's had a fantastic season.
But he just hasn't. For one reason or another, there's been a bit of contact, a bit of early race contact as well. But, if you take that out and his actual race pace, his actual performances in the race, he's still been finishing, top 5, top 7 for pretty much most of the races. So
he's sitting at 6th overall for the D6 championships. I mean, he's not someone that we you know, give as much credit as we should be given to. I mean, between him and Sasha Dickhouse have been a lot of the sleepers who just, you know, they've had great races all year. Just that Mark DC, Dylan Bonsall, Cameron Hastings, Glenn Jacobs. I mean, honestly, throw them all at a dartboard. I mean, any one of those could end up in a rotational positions.
As Cameron Hastings has a 1:45.7, which is a really competitive lap time. I mean, even for a Division 4, that's Division 4, Division 5. That's a good lap time.
That is a phenomenal lap time.
And it's you can see it's phenomenal. I mean, look at the gap to Juicy Jake. So looks like Cameron's turned up for the race today. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'll end up eating my words, and I just hope he keeps it clean. I'm absolutely certain if he can keep himself on the track, no self deletions, no deletions in general, and that means, you know, that's difficult because you've got to keep an eye on the cars behind you. If he can do that, then I'm sure that he will end up on the podium tonight with that sort of pace. As Mark DC then goes over the line and comes second, cutting the gap down to 0.4. But that just shows you, championship leader Mark DC, still 0.4 off the pace at this point with 1 minute to go, 1 lap to go really for Mark DC now. This is it. It's make or break for him.
I want to say right now that Mike Farrow was up like significantly on his lap time. Oh, but maybe something must have just happened.
Cleveland Leatherwood is on a good lap. He's 0.6, 0.7 up at the moment. So let's see if he can translate that in these final couple of corners. Needs to maybe try and find a bit more width in that last chicane. Does he keep it valid? I don't know. I think he does. Let's have a look as he goes over the line. He certainly does. And that takes him all the way up into... Let's have a look.
Yeah, move them up to 11.
Takes him up to 11th. So good lap time from him. As we're going then on to the final laps, we've got Cardboard Smith up by 0.6. That'll be enough to drag him up into the 146s, the high-end 146s, and that'll be a couple of places. We've got Mike Farrow up by 0.2. Garrett Lorp up by 0.5. Not enough to challenge for the lead, but certainly enough to move him up a few spaces. Ooh. Keep it together, Garrett. Keep it together. He's still up. He's still up.
Yeah, that might be just short of pole. Oh.
No, still good. Still good. Mike Farrow, though, suddenly breaking. He's on the border right now. Going into... He's only come out of Sector 1. Going halfway through Sector 2 now. He's up by 0.6. 0.7 puts him on pole. So we'll keep on board with Mike Farrow then, and we'll see exactly what he can produce in these dying few corners now. Still up by 0.6. Needs 0.7.
Yeah, keep it underneath you. That's the great turn right there.
Still 0.6.
It's going to come down right into the final chicane right here. Get out wide, come in nice.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No. Okay, no, he's okay. He's 0.5.
Yeah, I mean, you lost all the speed going
Justin
out of
Muntean, straight ahead of us. Justin, it's just up the road. We're looking at the wrong person. He must have gained all of that in the last couple of corners there. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I want to say he was up on his time for not anything that significant. Juicy J coming out to just finish it off here.
Rounds all, but at the death of it, what a lap time. I mean, look at the split. We've got a 0.07 second split between the two. I mean, 0.03, sorry. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. What a qualifying. It really did come down, and it shows just how there's clearly a divide. There's certainly drivers that are more comfortable than others. But you know, it's going to be a good race. Now what we have to do is go away to our sponsors, and when we return, let's see what the weather is doing. We'll be right back, guys. A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more. Alright, so with 20 seconds before the guys go back out on track, Justin, it is dry, sir. It is dry. But it's an optimum track. It's a dry and optimum track, so we're going to get some really good racing. Kind of low-key, not so low-key glad, because, you know, with D6, it's going to be hard enough in the dry. So let's see if we get a bit of rain develop. It certainly looked like you said in qualifying, it looked like the rain was on its way with a bit longer. So we'll see how this develops. It might not be dry the entire race, but also let's see who's actually got a dry setup. But before we do that, let's quickly rattle through the list, and bear with me guys, I'll have a deep breath and we will go through them. In first place, car 787, Justin Muntean. In second place, car 139, Cameron Hastings. In third place, car 189, Garrett Lorpe. In fourth place, car 689, Mike Farrow. In fifth place, car 333 and our championship leader, Mark DC. In sixth place, car 788, Juicy Jake. In seventh place, car 825, Andrew Hopkins. In eighth place, car 623, Mike Cook. In ninth place, Havoc Garzosi, car 138. In 10th, car 281, Sasha Dickhouse. In 11th, car 478, Cardboard Smith. In 12th, car 94, Cleveland Leatherwood. In 13th, car 224, Peter Effenpan. In 14th, car 505, Pookie Dana. In 15th, car 152, Daniel Beckstead. In 16th, car 999, Brian Acombe. In 17th, car 674, Tim Parkinson. In 18th, car 690, Akuna Matata. In 19th, car 942, Jeremy Ran. In 20th, car 989 and our silver championship leader, I believe, Sean Paul. In 21st, car 954, Mason Hall. In 22nd, car 713, Glenn Jacobs. In 23rd, car 248, Max Yang. In 24th, car 878, Travis Fletcher. In 25th, car 909 and serving a qualifying ban, Matthew Hopkins. And in 26th, cars 306, Brandon York. And starting from the pit lane, car 445, Rohan Devanini. And car 704, Gordon Beverly Jr. So that is our lineup. We are just coming round then the final corners, Justin.
I hate to cut you off. Could you pull that? Is it me or is he wearing wets? His tires are red.
Who?
Everybody else's are yellow.
Yeah,
Justin
no.
Muntine.
No, I think Justin Muntine is. No, that's just
Notice
his rim. That's his rim colours.
No, his tires are. I want to say his tires are red, but
Well, we'll find out.
yeah, those look red to me. All right, as they go around the final third, I didn't mean to cut you off. It was just the only thing that I saw. It looked very odd from. So yep. As we come down the straight, nothing but dry radar right now, and the light is green for round 7 at Barcelona, and it looks like Justin Muntine did not have a really good start off the line here, as it looks like they're going to go possibly 3 wide into turn 1. Please, everyone, keep it together. Oh, my goodness, and that is Garrett Lorp, who's just going to weave his way in there.
Looks like we've got a clean turn 1.
Let everybody get through turn 1 first, Jay, before you say that.
As car 704, Rohan Devanini and Gordon Beverly Jr. Are released from the pit lane.
Yeah, good. I mean, Lorp couldn't have asked for a better start off the line. I mean, if you're Justin Muntine, you just, all right, you know, it happens.
Late
you have
braking there, boy.
No, late.
That's Justin Muntine.
Yeah,
losing a place then to Brian Acombe. Sorry, Mark DC, and losing the place to Mike Farrow as well. Costly mistake there going into turn 5.
Yeah.
We've also had an accident further back. Let's quickly cut through and see what happened. So we're on board then with Daniel Beckstead. So he was initially just behind his teammate Jordan Pukidana. So already lost out a few places. Let's see what happens. And going into turn 5, there's an accident ahead of him. 3 cars are all wiped out there. Akuna Matata looking the wrong way. Sean Keenan trying to find a way through. Sean Paul, sorry. A little bit of contact. So, yeah, Akuna Matata, the big loser out of that little debacle.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Justin Muntine right now, I mean, which looked like it was going to be a great start. I mean, just falling back a couple positions, but that's why the race is an hour. You got plenty of time to settle in and get it going.
Exactly. As the cars come over to complete the first lap, then they're putting in a 1:51.7, which is a really good time, really, for full fuel. Just a reminder of the rules then for our race. Refueling is not allowed, so the cars start with a full race fuel. And they must pit at least once, and they must change their tyres at least once. So they have a pit window of 58 minutes. You heard our engineer say the pit window's open. You can see at the top there, they've got 56 minutes left. That gives a wide option of tactical choices for them to pit. It also lets them account for the weather a little bit and try and deal with the weather a bit better. So lots of options to play for. There's lots going on. We have got incidents up and down the grid. Let's go back and take another look then at what's happened into this corner up ahead. There's a little bit of a love bump behind. And so we've already got Sean Paul, it looks like, off to this... Cleveland Leatherwood off to the side. And Akuna Matata just sort of cuts in there. I don't think that's much on Cleveland Leatherwood, really.
No, I mean, you got to hold that line. I mean, you're kind of surrounded 3 wide here.
You certainly have. So we're looking at the moment then at Glenn Jacobs looking to make a move on Pukidana. Goes down the inside into dive bomb corner. What can happen here then? A lovely move. Pukidana then losing out the position to Glenn Jacobs, moving down into 13th place. I do also just want to take a quick look because it looks like first, second, and third are pretty settled. I want to see what happened. There was a little bit of contact here earlier on. So Max Yang a bit unstable. That allows Matthew Hopkins to catch up by the looks of it. And we've got Mason Hall in the mix as well. So what happens here to Max Yang?
I think he just breaks a little late and it just
makes contact with. Is that Jeremy Ran or is that Thomas Kiss? I think that's Jeremy Ran.
Len's flashing his high beams there. Not really sure. Oh, that's
car
Cardboard
478
Smith
with car 224. So 478 Cardboard Smith, car 224 just behind him. Peter F and Pan. So Cardboard Smith goes down to defend the inside line going into turn 1. Peter Finpan with quite a lot of pace around the outside simply doesn't account for that pace difference and sends Cardboard Smith into the barrier.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you gotta make sure that you know, especially here, there's a lot of spots that looks like you can make a move on, but when you're covering one side, it's, you know, that speed adjustment, it's hard to put yourself in a position to make that pass cleanly. I mean, you're gonna be side by side for a lot of them going into the next turn more than likely.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just on board. A little train forming then behind Pookie Dana. We've got Cleveland Leatherwood. We have got Brian Acombe. We've got Sean Paul. And then we've got Cleveland Leatherwood and Travis Fletcher not far behind the pack either. So a little bit of a train forming then behind Pookie Dana. He's either going to have to try and find some pace or he's going to have to start thinking about defending. And it's going to be a long 54 minutes of defending for him if that's what he chooses to do. Somebody who had a really good couple of first races and then sort of hit a lull in the mid-season is Andrew Hopkins. I think he even won a race, did he not? Was it Snetterton? No, was it? No, it wasn't Snetterton.
I want to say he got a podium. I don't think he won.
Yeah, maybe a podium. And then sort of had a tough mid-season, but up into 6th place at the moment. That's Andrew Hopkins. So he's doing well. Barcelona certainly looks like it suits him a bit better. As it looks like just behind Mike Cook, Juicy Jake really going at it. Mike Cook making the pass then on Juicy Jake. Let's quickly try and go back and see what happened. So he just goes down the inside and he just gets a better exit as well out of turn 5 in the rundown into turn 6. And just secures that and makes it work. Good on him.
Yeah. I mean, this might be a battle that we'll be looking at for most of the night here.
What's really interesting is the lap times from Garrett Lorp are already really impressive, and it's not a massive gap. Cameron Hastings is still hanging in there, but Garrett Lorp already putting in a lap time of a 1:45.5, which is just incredibly fast given the amount of fuel on board.
Yeah, I'm also keeping a look on, continue to keep looking at the radar to make sure that we're kind of conditions we're expecting to get, but so far, so, you know, at least for a majority of this race, it looks like it will be dry.
So, Pookie Dana then seems to have got to kick up the backside by somewhere on something, because he's lost one position, but he seems to have separated somehow from the rest of the pack, so good on him for that. Let's go back and see if there was a reason why that happened. We've got an accident between car 690, Akuna Matata, and car 152, Daniel Beckstead. So looks like Akuna Matata trying to go down the outside. Daniel Beckstead leaving no space and then just making a little bit of a touch as Akuna Matata makes a pass in the end. So nothing doing there. Bit of rub in his racing. Needs to obviously, he deserves a little bit of space as Pookie Dana goes a little bit wide there. As Rohan Divanini makes a move then. His first, or one of his first moves. That's a move he loses back to Jeremy Rand. They're neck and neck. Rohan Divanini going quite tight and deep into that turn. What happens? He keeps it. Good move by Rohan Divanini, moving up from the back of the grid up into now 22nd place.
Yeah, right where Pookie is on the track, their last couple of laps, there has been Not too much of a difference. I mean, Jacobs in front of him is doing a 147.767, and he's doing a 147.787. So it's he seems to be going at pretty much the same pace as Glenn. So we might be able to hold his position there for the most part.
And of course, as we just saw from Garrett Lorp there, that would be a track cut. Sorry, not Garrett Lorp, from Glenn Jacobs. That would be a track cut. So that's going to also play a factor. I mean, I want it to, because I don't want to be the only one that got to drive through because of track cuts this week. So no, we don't want to see it. We don't want to see it. But yeah, it's certainly going to be a factor at some point. As we go on board then with Tim Parkinson chasing down Akuna Matata at the moment. Let's go a bit further up then. Let's go on board with Juicy Jake down to his splitter. He's trying to find a way past Mike Cook again, who initially made the pass on Juicy, but he's been unable since making the pass to shake him. So Juicy Jake saying, hey, look, I want that place back. Good on you for getting it in the first place, but you're not fast enough, sir. Give it back to me. A lot of unusual heavy braking and a lot of curve through there, yeah. I'm really interested to see what gear a lot of these guys are picking for this corner, because I think I get in the wets second, so they are picking first. I saw a couple of instances so far where cars are taking it in second, which is not optimal. He's also Juicy Jake choosing first through there, which I don't think is the right gear choice. He's going to be scrubbing a little bit of speed off. Also first there, so he's certainly losing. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it keeps it under control. Yeah, it's certainly losing a lot of lap time in those final few corners is Juicy Jake with a gear selection.
Yeah, that Lexus is not gonna let it catch him on the straight.
Yeah. Although I tell you that, let's see, he's brave. Is he brave enough under braking, or is he gonna follow? He's gonna follow.
Oh, he's gonna go really deep. I mean,
can he keep it together over the bumps? Yeah. Yes, he can. Yep.
No. All right, get back at it, sir. As Brian Acomb makes the move on Jordan Fukidaner. Keep it clean, gentlemen. That's all we ask. Ooh, he's trying to make that move on the outside, but.
So we've got on board a triple stint helicam to see a little bit of contact then between Peter Effin Pan and Glenn Jacobs. Let's see what's happened here. So Glenn Jacobs getting a much better turn, and as a result, I mean, that is, I mean, I'd say racing incident personally, but you know, we'll see.
I mean, I thought he used them as a wall, but
I don't. Yeah, I think it's a combination of him coming back onto the track as well. You know, I think it's just a lack of awareness from both drivers there, to be honest.
Pookie is starting to form a train behind him. Let's go. Pick it up.
Yeah, that train's starting to catch up now as Fukidaner falls down to 14th position. So let's turn and see what the comments are saying. Brianne at some point was saying, well, that was mean. I don't know what that was in reference to, Brianne, but you're right. There's been a lot of mean driving out there. And Cameron Hastings coming on and saying, it's official white girl music, gives me superpowers. So, yeah, fair enough. I have to admit, I do have a bit of Katy Perry, a bit of, gosh, who else? A few songs, a few pop songs in there that in my driving list to get me through it.
I need you to put that back on so you can gain some positions there, sir. I need you to gain some time back.
Yeah, tell me about it. Let's go on board then with Juicy Jake. Oh no, let's quickly cut to Travis Fletcher. He's making the move down into turn 1. That's on Cleveland Leatherwood. And now we've got Team Elbows up in 17th, sorry, in 16th and 15th. Can Cleveland Leatherwood come back into the next corner? It looks like he's got a bit of an inside line. It looks like Travis Fletcher thinks about defending, but in the end decides not to. Goes wide though. That's going to leave the door open for Cleveland Leatherwood. They're going to be neck and neck now going into the infamous next turn. Who's going to give way? Who's going to give up? Cleveland Leatherwood forced to go around the outside, but Mike Travis Fletcher losing the rears. Bouncing into Cleveland Leatherwood, but Cleveland managing to keep it on the track, and that is Travis Fletcher back down then to 20th place.
Yeah, it just lost his back end and completely ends up sideways. Nice little battle, though.
Nice little battle, as always, as Andrew Hopkins is off. So he was in 6th place. He drops down to 8th. He drops down to 9th, and it looks like he's going to recover that. That's Harvick Gazzosi then going through. Does he manage to? Oh, yes, he does. He's going to suffer here. He's going to lose that place. You've got to think to the Lexus. He covers the Lexus off, but let's see what happens now. Is it going to be a drop down all the way to 10th place? Can Glenn Jacobs get through? He's flashing Andrew Hopkins.
I don't know if
he's going to make the move. He looks down the inside. Hopkins sort of goes through. Glenn commits to that inside line. Then can he do it? Andrew Hopkins keeping it respectful and wide. Two come close, but no contact. Glenn Jacobs riding around the inside, setting him up then on the inside for the next corner. He makes a clean pass, and let's see if Andrew Hopkins got anything to say about it. I don't know if he does. No, he doesn't. That is Andrew Hopkins, and that little mistake at the end of Sector 3. Oh, is Glenn Jacobs loses it a little bit. Andrew Hopkins, yeah, having to keep it. And now, of course, you've got Peter Pan right behind Andrew Hopkins. He's going to be looking at it. All three of them struggling with their rear ends here at the moment. All three of them.
Yeah, looking to be coming out of this next turn. We'll see again if Hopkins can keep it going.
As they all go a little bit wider there. But what I do want to do is cut across then to Mike Farrow, Cameron Hastings. This is for P2. Garrett Law, forget about it. He's 8 seconds ahead after 8 laps. So it's at the moment, it's a battle between Cameron Hastings and the pressure that Mike Farrow is putting on him from behind, going through the very tight and technical final chicane of the track, coming out then onto the pit straight. Now he's going to be too far back, I think, to make any meaningful move. But this is certainly a lot of pressure being put on Cameron Hastings so early on into the race, as Mike Cook has also retaken the position for 6th place from GC Jake. There was a momentary overtake, and Harvick Gazzosi has had the door left wide open for him now. He's going to look down the inside going into turn 1. Is he going to do anything? He thinks better of it, falls back in line behind GC Jake. So it's all building up behind these guys here. Mike Cook just not able to get ahead as he needs to from Juicy Jake. Juicy Jake still making attempts to get down the inside. What looks like it's cost him quite dearly. Harvick Gazzosi then still looking down the inside. Nothing doing. Still stays behind Juicy Jake. All the meanwhile, Mike Cook's teammate Glenn Jacobs making a McLaren and Ferrari sandwich. Glenn Jacobs looking, no, he's still not close enough. He's biding his time as Harvick Gazzosi, Juicy Jake and Mike Cook try and battle it out ahead. I think Mike Cook's begging Glenn Jacobs to try and make some of these moves and just relieve a little bit of pressure if he can.
Yeah, it's looking like Jacobs might be able to make this move coming out here on the straight on Gazzosi.
He's certainly trying. He's certainly trying.
A little bit of dirt might have given it away, but I just don't. Unless he makes. Oh, he's going to make that move.
Let's get onto the camera. Does he make it? That's his 3rd move in that corner. Can he hold on to it? He certainly can't. That's going to be off track. He's going to have to give that position up.
Yeah, as I was saying, careful coming back on. We've seen a couple instances already in that corner, but. All right, still right behind Gazzosi. I mean, again, if he gets a good exit out of the final turn, he might be able to stay with him, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's just too far behind.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
Right in front of us, we got...
Juicy Jake making the move on Mike Cook. Mike Cook taking it back. Let's have a look at what's going on here. Juicy Jake coming down into turn 1. Mike Cook, is Juicy Jake going to look down the inside? He decides not to at the moment, as Glenn Jacobs does make the move on Harvick Gazzosi, coming up behind him. finally. So his teammate, Mike Cook's teammate, Glenn Jacobs, trying his best to try and help Mike Cook out as much as possible. He needs to try and move up the field a bit more now to try and put some pressure on Juicy Jake, who is threatening Mike Cook right now. He's still there. He's being big in his mirrors. He's letting him know, I'm still here. I still want that position. The best time for Juicy Jake is going to be in these corners. The Ferrari is going to outperform that Lexus in the corners. He has to try and make his move. Does he do it now? Going through turn 5. They're side by side going into it. What's going to happen here? Mike Cook on the outside. Juicy Jake braking a bit early. Filters in behind Mike Cook. That's smart. Mike Cook not having the best because he was so narrow. Not having the best exit as they come up through into the awkward right-hander. This is going to be where the Lexus, both the Lexus now start to make a bit of progress. Mike Cook's going to pull away slightly. Glenn Jacobs is really going to gain. Glenn Jacobs looking for the 4th time down the inside. Nothing doing. Still too far back as Juicy Jake takes all of that curb. Still all over the backside of Mike Cook.
Oh, yeah.
Glenn Jacobs, though, look at how close Glenn Jacobs is. What can he do here? He goes down the inside.
Wilded.
Forces the move, and he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone. And this, Justin, is what we were talking about with Harvitt. He needs to try and have a bit more patience. It certainly helped. As Mike Cook goes wide, and that is it. Juicy Jake is through. After all of
Jake
that,
is the final winner of the 4-way battle.
Glenn Jacobs then just saying to Mike, look, let me try and take a crack at this. Andrew Hopkins also looking a bit interested down the inside of Mike Cook. It is devastating how much time you can lose. Andrew Hopkins makes contact then with Mike Cook. What's going to happen here? Is he going to give that position back? I feel like he probably needs to.
Yeah,
Whether or not he feels that way, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know if they let off a little bit to make that switch there, and that's what caused Hopkins to catch up that easily. I mean, he flew by. I mean, obviously there was some contact going into it, but I mean, when they started that turn to the final turn going down the straight, I mean, he was nowhere in sight originally. Nowhere
in sight, as we have another yellow flag. The yellow flag then at the moment is for car 954. That's Mason Hall, who, again, he's had a decent qualifying, but it's come around to race time, and this isn't the first yellow flag of the race for him. He's really struggling with that last sector. As Jordan Dana showing a white flag. So just going a little bit slow, but that's okay. Rohan Devanini, meanwhile, just up ahead then. He's all over the backside of Travis Fletcher. Makes the move on Fletcher. Now he's looking right in the rearview mirror of Cleveland Leatherwood. This has been a fantastic drive then by Rohan Devanini, who again started with a pit lane start. Cleveland Leatherwood goes wide. Rohan Devanini goes down the inside. There's going to be contact. There's going to be contact. There's going to be contact. And and there's contact up ahead as well. Car 138224. That's Harvitt Gozzosi again. And Peter Effin Pan. What is going on? But Rohan Devanini's going to say thank you very much. Travis Fletcher Sean Paul just behind him. I was calling him Travis Fletcher, but it was Sean Paul. I do apologise. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened just up ahead of these guys then. So this is Mike Cook with Peter Finn Pan. What has happened here? So they're coming into the last corner. Mike Cook goes too slow. And Peter Finn Pan then going into the back end. Mike Cook. That's...
I mean, I don't know. In that situation, I mean, Garzo's
it's tricky. You've got to hold your brakes.
I think
you got to hold your brakes. If you're Mike Cook in that situation, it's difficult. I know what he was trying to do. He's trying to get off the track. But
I think he's off the track though at that point. I think Garzosi goes off the track to try to go around.
He does, possibly. But even if you're off the track, you can't pull into the line of other. You still got a duty to get on cleanly. So I think the stewards will take a dim view of that on Mike Cook's side, unfortunately. So it's gone from bad to worse then for Mike Cook, who finds himself down into 10th place now. Andrew Hopkins fought their way back up to 8th. Juicy Jake in 7th. Glenn Jacobs then, we've missed it on the stream, but Glenn Jacobs making the move pretty swiftly on Juicy Jake. So It's looking like Glenn Jacobs is going to be doing a bit of the heavier carrying for the team today. And he's on a fantastic drive with Justin Muntean only just 10 seconds ahead. But let's look further ahead. This is Mike Farrow then on Cameron Hastings. Is he going to make a move down into turn 1? No, he's not. This is the battle for second place. Garrett Lort, meanwhile, laughing up ahead because these three, Cameron Hastings, Mike Farrow, and Mark DC, are pretty much all stuck at the moment. They're stuck in their positions. Mike Farrow has been behind Cameron Hastings now by less than a second for a good, I would say, 5 or 6 laps. Just no movement being made whatsoever. I don't know. Again, Mark DC is sort of like a wily fox. He tends to sort of wait and pounce when his opponents are weaker. We've seen that this season, so he's probably going to let this play out as much as it can, as Cameron Hastings goes a little bit wide there through turn 5, inviting Mike Farrow up the inside, or to look up the inside into turn 6. Here they come then around a very long uphill off-camber right-hander. Mike Farrow using all of the space available. Now he's going to try this down the line. The Porsche and the McLaren pretty well versed for one another in a straight line, so nothing doing there. Mike Farrow still trailing by less than 0.5 of a second on Cameron Hastings going into the final sector here. Can he set himself up for a move going into the start-finish straight? Because that is pretty much all you can hope to do through this part of the track.
Gonna be close. I mean, I'm not sure if Cameron Hastings goes a little bit too much off the track there. I mean, the Porsche might be able to catch him at the end here. I mean, might not even have to wait to the end. They might catch them.
Does he decide to look down the inside? Cameron Hastings making a late move onto the side of the track to try and maximize his entry speed. Still messes it up. It's not optimum. Mike Farrow says, thank you very much. Hello, what have we got here? Can Cameron Hastings keep it together going through this very long right-handed hairpin? Yes, he can. Seems to have a bit better traction through there than Mike Farrow as they go then into another right-handed hairpin. A bit tied to this one. Brian Acombe just staying in the mirrors then of Mike Farrow, letting him know I'm still here. But both of those cars ahead of Mark DC should be faster through the corners than that Bentley. Is this where it happens? Oof.
I don't think so. I think he's gonna keep himself locked in a little bit right here. Oh, and just keep it going.
So Harvard Garzozi is our third pit stop. Sorry, no, he's our first pit stop of the day. Brandon York then losing a few places into turn 1. Seems like he's gone in a bit hot there. So where are we at? 33 minutes and still only 1 pit. So that's interesting. We've got car 909. That is the car of 909. Where are you? That's Matthew Hopkins also entering into the pits then. So a lot of people being very disciplined with their pit windows. The weather hasn't changed. The temperatures haven't changed. For a race that promised a bit of variance, the Spanish weather is being stubborn. As car 954, that's Mason Hall yet again going off in that final sector. He's going to have to wait for all the traffic to get past him as he does. So Cardboard Smith then taking a look down the inside, nothing doing, nothing on, then comes back into place. The move has been made though. Mike Farrow has made the move. I'm sorry we missed it, but yeah, he made the move in the end on Mike Farrow, on Justin Muntean. I think Justin Muntean has gone off at some point and really sort of opened him up. Let's take a look though. There might have been a bit of contact here. Let's have a look. Going down into turn 1. This is Mike Farrow, Justin Muntean, the battle for second place. Cameron Hastings holding down the outside. There's a Harvard Garzozi. There's a Harvard Garzozi. What happens? Cameron Hastings clips. Garzozi cannot catch a break tonight.
Yeah, and I believe as well is that you kind of have to give that space to the person coming out of the pit.
Oh,
you can't just
100%.
absolutely, you know, I know you want to have that line and you're on the lead lap in that situation, but
Yeah.
Gotta give that person some space to go somewhere. So that's unfortunate for.
So Mark DC
Barzosi.
also goes into the pits then. He comes out in 17th place. Juicy Jake also comes out in 18th place. Not too far behind then. Let's just double check that on the screen. Now, Juicy Jake... Why is it not switching to Juicy Jake? Juicy Jake then, 788. Something happens here. Oh, okay, great. So this is on the pit exit then, is it? Yeah, pit exit. There's a yellow flag shown for some reason. Great camera angle. Comes out the pits and no, nothing doing as Peter Pan gets the first drive-through of the race as well. We said that track limits were going to be a factor, and they certainly are. He's just done a pit as well, so that is gutting for Peter Pan.
Oh,
as Juicy
Jake has lost his back end and. Yep, just does the right thing.
Yeah, does the right thing. It's an awful thing to have to.
Oh!
So let's go ahead and go on board then with Cardboard Smith, who is chasing down Jeremy Ran, who's had a fantastic race so far. Jeremy Ran up into 13th place. That for Jeremy is a gain of 7 positions so far in this race. Cardboard Smith down 2 positions. Rohan Devanini is our second biggest gainer over in 9th place, starting from 24th. But Glenn Jacobs, who started 22nd, by the way, 22nd place, is already up to 5th. So Glenn Jacobs has got a lot to show for himself in this race so far. We'll see what he can do. Let's see what's going on at the front. Let's look at the time. So Garrett Lorp at the moment has a 20-second gap. Now that is also not including it's also not including a Mark DC. He's pit. We'll see what happens when he comes out. But yeah, looking really healthy for Garrett Lorp at the moment. So we've got another drive-through for speeding through the pit lane. Who is that for? Coming out the pits, that was for... I think that was what Peter Pan got. So it wasn't track limits, it was speeding in the pit lane. As we go back on board then with Cardboard Smith, still trying to make the move on Jeremy Ran. So guys, if you're watching in the comments, if you're watching the stream at home, give out your support as always. Let us know who you think is going to walk away with the podium places. Is Garrett Lorp going to be able to hold on to where he is at the moment? Is Glenn Jacobs going to try and do something? He's already up into 4th place. Or is Mike Ferrer going to hold on to the podium places as well? You guys let us know what your thoughts are in the comments.
If you like the stream, give it a like. If you're not following SRA yet, give it a subscribe.
Give it a subscribe. Give it us a like.
Give it a like.
Or better yet, join us for next season, season 15. You could always do that. So Mike Ferrer then comes out of the pits, does he? He certainly does, into 10th place. So that was... that was 2nd place originally. Cameron Hastings then has a bit of a gap then, 27 seconds, a bit of clean air. But what he doesn't have is time to rest on his laurels, because Glenn Jacobs is on the hunt. He's on the prowl. He's looking at Cameron Hastings 3.4 seconds up ahead and thinking, maybe I can do it. As he goes into the pits. Typical. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks. Let's look at Cardboard Smith. Finally trying to make this move on Jeremy Ran. Jeremy Ran moves across to slightly put pressure. Cardboard Smith then making the smart decision to just, not test fate. He will get a track cut for that move, that there, as Peter Pan clears his drive through. Oh, not the greatest of exits. They're going to go too wide, are they, in here? Cardboard Smith.
This is such
Cardboard
a...
Smith. Jeremy Rand then diving into the pit lanes with Travis Parkinson just behind.
No, such an odd spot to go and
Tim
make that pit move when you were right all over everyone.
Yeah, difficult decision to make there. But Cardboard Smith then gets a bit of clear air for his troubles. Rohan Devanini, again, obviously people have pitted, he hasn't, so he's up into third though. It's been a fantastic effort so far by Rohan Devanini. It'll be interesting to see where Glenn Jacobs comes out. At the moment, he's just popping out of the pits. Let's see what happens to him as he comes out the pit lane. He's got Justin Muntean coming up just behind him, but he's going to, I think, hold that position, albeit closely. There goes Justin Muntean in the foreground of the shot. There goes Justin Muntean putting the pressure on. He wants to get past Glenn Jacobs. He gets past Glenn Jacobs.
That was really close, too.
Really close. Really committed driving from Justin Muntean. This man means business.
I mean, this is going to be another one of those battles that we could see go on for a couple of laps here between Justin Muntean and
well, the ball's in these guys'
Jacobs.
court. Can Justin Muntean keep Glenn Jacobs behind him? That's going to be the objective at the moment. Glenn Jacobs with a lot of pace and on fresher tyres, albeit not by that much, but certainly will be on fresher tyres. It will take a minute for them to get up to where they need to be on PSI, though. So, you know, Justin still has that opportunity at the moment to wait, you know, keep him waiting. It looks like, though, Mark DC has made the move on Mike Farrow under the pit. So he's made the undercut work as Mark DC. That puts him up into second place. Mike Farrow third. Justin Muntean fourth. And Glenn Jacobs fifth. So the undercut working up and down the track. Oh my goodness, hiccups are affecting me today, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise. Undercut was the right option. And Sasha Dickhouse proving that. Sasha Dickhouse up to 13th, which is going to be turned into not 13th by the time. Oh, as Glenn Jacobs goes really wide there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be that for this battle, for now at least. Let's see what happens as Garrett Lorp then goes into the pit lane. It's all going to be interesting to see where Mark DC comes out. I think he's still going to be in second place by the time that Garrett Lorp manages to come out the pits. Car 152 facing the wrong way. That is Daniel Beckstead. Let's see what's happened here for him.
Looks good through here. Curb.
Oh, rides a curb and jackknifes it. Very stylishly turns it around, but he's got to wait for Rohan Devanini to come through. He's going to lose out a couple of places. It's unforgiving. It is unforgiving. Max Yang having a fantastic qualifying as well. A fantastic race at the moment, up to 11th, which is really good to see. Again, somebody who's struggled so far this season on the race. Done okay in the qualifying, but struggled in the races. So I think if he can keep it clean, he can come out with a relatively good position. So Garrett Lorp goes into the pits. Cameron Hastings resumes his initial lead, although it didn't last very long in the race. It lasted for about 300 yards. But he's back in the lead. And he's going to pretend to himself that everyone's pitted and this is the final finishing order and he deserves to be here.
Yeah, we should be seeing about pretty much all the final bits of pits here. Doesn't look like we're going to see any weather change as well here. Looks like we're going to stay dry pretty much the entire race. Been taking a look up.
It's a shame. It's a shame. We didn't know what was going to happen, and in the end, we have ended up with just a very dry race with an optimum track and some pretty good temperatures. To be honest, oh no, Cameron Hastings, disaster, disaster. He's facing the wrong way with Pookie Dana coming up as well. Oh, he's not facing the wrong way. He's facing the right way.
I was going to say, he's facing the right way.
Pookie Dana squeezing through. And that helps Pookie Dana out massively. Take the pressure off of the car that was up behind him, Cleveland Leatherwood. So, devastating for Cameron Hastings. We spoke about this in the build-up to the race. Can he keep it facing the wrong way? Avoid self-deletions? And the answer has just been, not today, Chief, as he goes into the pits. Those tyres probably looking a bit tired at this point in the race. So Whoa, so what's happened there? Hardware issues? Or?
I mean, something must have happened. That's
You hate to see it, as Brian Acombe has had an accident. Let's go ahead and go on board with Brian Acombe and see what's happened here. So he's going into the hairpin, the tight right-hand hairpin. Takes a lot of speed in. This then the run down to turn 5. This is Andrew Hopkins up ahead of him. Brian Acombe tries to dive down the inside of Andrew Hopkins. There's a little bit of contact, but nothing to write home about. Ends up going wide, and Andrew Hopkins says, I'll take you under, I'll take you over, and I will take that place back from you. So we got on board with Mark DC then, who has come out into second place. He's come out with about a 20-second gap then to the leader, which is Rohan Divanini. He's only come out, though, about 16 seconds behind Garrett Lorp. So a lot of time made up by Mark DC. Mike Farrow, however, it's not over. Mike Farrow is chasing down Mark DC. He's not letting him out of his sight.
it might possibly come down to a near buzzer beater.
Ooh, that front end does not look good for Max Yang. That hood, that bonnet has seen better days. It's Juicy Jake then trying to make his way around the outside of Max Yang. Nothing doing, and they end up just 2, does not go into 1. And of course, Mike Cook getting caught up in that as well and being stuck behind Juicy Jake. So the race is back on between these two. Nothing to separate them. This is Mike Cook then. The Lexus, you got to argue the Lexus is going to have the more speed down the straight. Can he make it stick? That Ferrari not giving up though. They both go around. One very wide, one loses the rear end. They're still side by side then, are they? No, they're not. Juicy Jake taking the initial lead back.
This has been a fantastic battle all night long.
It certainly has. It really has. They've been very even on pace. That much is clear to see. So we go back on board though with, this is Brian Acombe again chasing down Andrew Hopkins. He's clearly faster than Andrew. He's trying to find a way past Andrew. But that purple, the Great Wall of BMW is not moving at the moment for Brian Acombe. Juicy Jake then and Mike Cook still battling it out, still sparring 1-for-1 here.
It looks like Juicy Jake might have pulled a little bit of ahead here, but again, on the straights, it's what's gonna, be whether or not they will. Glenn Jacobs trying to make a way onto Muntean as well.
Yeah, still going on between these two. So the WRT drivers, the Wreckham Racing Team drivers, very busy today. They've not had boring races, neither of them. Neither of them. Brian Acombe then, does he make the move stick on Andrew Hopkins? Got to give him the space, and it looks like he does.
Andrew Hopkins is just looking to fight to get that back now. It's so hard to gain.
Oh, he's cooked that. He's cooked that. Can he take the advantage? Yes, he can.
He's going to take it full advantage of that. Oh.
Big advantage.
Yeah, so really, really deep into that turn, and now he's going to have to fight to get that back.
So let's go on board with Havoc Goes Ozzy then, who was having a fantastic race, but has fallen victim to a couple of unlucky incidents again for Havoc Goes Ozzy. He's down in 15th, battling with pit lane start Rohan Devanini, who's had a fantastic race so far. And that is a battle for 14th place. Max Yang, Gordon Beverly Jr., then the 2 drivers still left to complete their pit stops, as Cleveland Leatherwood makes a move on Travis Fletcher. Let's go back and see if we can catch that. So clearly just Travis Fletcher going a bit too deep into turn 5. Cleveland Leatherwood saying thank you very much. Nice easy pass for Cleveland there.
Got a nice little battle here. Ooh, cooking up. All right, we'll switch back over to Glenn Jacobs as he goes a little bit wider here, coming out of turn 3. You know, every single week we always try to figure out how Mark DC does it, but again, just finding his way up into the podium position.
I tell you, he just waits. He waits for his chance, keeps it clean, doesn't get involved in the battles that he doesn't need to, waits for the driver ahead of him to make a mistake, as Glenn Jacobs taking it a bit wide there. What a fantastic drive, though, from Glenn Jacobs. I mean, that's a total gain of 17 positions. I mean, it's just been a fantastic race from him.
Is it the biggest winner today? I feel like we did not talk about biggest winner.
I think it is, yeah.
I mean, Gordon Beverly Jr. has had a fantastic race as well, up 15 places.
He does, but he still needs to pit. Still needs to pit. So that's going to go down.
Yeah. That is true. Duh. I mean, Davini as well, up 13.
Oh, Davini
pit lane
had a
start as
fantastic
well.
one, yeah.
Mike Farrell's just trying to make his make a point that he can be in second as well, just slowly clawing back into Mark DC range. But again, here we are with Brian Acomb and Andrew Hopkins, seeing what could possibly happen. That Bentley must have made a ooh, never mind. Ooh, maybe not. I thought it was really, really wide. Oh, he's gonna try to go into the inside. Ooh, and he just. Oh man, and Brian Acomb just gives too much of a tap there.
Yeah.
That little bit of acceleration that right there at the end, trying to squeeze his way in.
Tries to do a really smart cut, but doesn't account for the natural position of Andrew Hopkins. It's been a trait so far this season for Brian Acomb. Unfortunately, it's been a bit of a trait. So not overly surprised. It's a shame for Andrew Hopkins, who then gets pushed down now all the way to 11th. Juicy Jake looking then down the inside, down the outside. Down the inside now, Brian Acomb. They go neck and neck. Oh, is there going to be enough space left? There certainly is. Juicy Jake, they're going to be on the wrong side of that hairpin. But what can he do then on the exit? He loses it on the exit, so he doesn't get the gap there, the pace that he needed.
Yeah, and that Bentley is going to be extremely hard to catch on the straight.
Yeah, not probably going to happen on the straight, I'll be honest.
No, not a chance.
Mind you, that Ferrari's not going anywhere.
Close.
He's not going
It'll
anywhere.
be close. Yeah. But it's not going to be anything that's, I mean, I don't, that's a really narrow coming in for, I mean, it's good defending, but I mean, as the Ferrari has a good chance of taking it into the turns.
So there was then a little bit of contact for Rohan Devanini and Max Yang. Let's see what's happened here. So Rohan Devanini already serving a pit lane start, so he's already in trouble with the stewards already. Is there a bit of contact here between him and Max? It certainly looks like there is. A little bit of bouncing off of one another. Nothing too bad, I wouldn't say, in that. I think that's more just letting them race. But Juicy Jake then all over the backside of Brian Acomb. Still at this point in the race, we have 12 minutes to go. That means that these guys have been battling for pretty much the entire race, especially Mike Cook and Juicy Jake. They haven't had a moment's rest. They've had all this frustration build up, not being able to make the moves that they want to make. And they see up on the clock, they've only got 12 minutes left to maximize their position. So for drivers like Juicy Jake, for drivers like Mike Cook, for Glenn Jacobs, who's closing the gap then on Justin Muntean, for Mike Ferro, who's closing the gap on Mark DC, they're coming down and they're facing the last few laps of the race. We're talking about 5 laps maybe left in this race. and they've got to make something happen for their own positions. One thing you can say, though, at this point, Justin, if Mark DC finishes second place, which it looks like he is, probably even if he finishes third place, that's his championship. That is the ball game. Maybe not statistically, but certainly realistically. What a season from Mark DC.
Yeah, I would say if I'm Mark DC, I'm just here for the drive at this point. You know, I mean, yeah, you might want to race, you know, Pharaoh for a little bit, but I wouldn't be putting myself in any danger of having myself get spun or anything that causes me to be where I am.
Yeah, no risk, no need to risk it. So we've still got 10 minutes left, and Gordon Beverly Jr. and Max Yang, neither of them have pitted yet. An interesting technique from them both. If you're on wet tyres, I'd say it's doable. But, oh, Cameron Hastings gets a drive-through. Track limits.
Oh.
Devastating. But
Yes.
again, goes back to what we were saying.
It's so hard to, you know, when you're racing to try to just get yourself into a position to be up there with those drivers, and you put yourself in a
Pookie
position
Dana facing the wrong
this.
way. What's happened here? This is Pookie Dana with Peter Pan going down into turn one. Peter Pan on the inside. Pookie Dana on the outside. Pookie tries to outbrake, leaves no space for Peter Fin Pan. Peter Fin Pan leaves no space for Pookie Dana.
Oh,
Pookie Dana come back and they just get tangled up. There's a lot of flashing of lights. I'm glad they can't get out of the cars, as there might be a few punches thrown in that little altercation, as Brian Acombe has also gone somewhere wrong and he's lost the position. Let's try and just go back. Let's spend 30 seconds on it and just understand exactly what's happened here. So Brian Acombe going into that tight corner way too fast, comes off the track. He's going to struggle to rejoin. Juicy Jake then and Mike Cook going down the inside. Brian Acombe tries to fight off Mike Cook down the inside, nothing doing, and this is pretty much where we joined the battle. Mike Cook getting the move done then on Brian Acombe. So in one mistake, he's lost out 2 positions already.
Yeah, Eddie's gonna say, I mean, it's turning into one of those things where you, as I say, you can't let it get in your head like that, as you're just gonna start, you know, making silly mistakes. You know, you already lost 2 positions. That's all right. You know, you've seen that you've had pace all race. Just get back in the fight.
Get back in the fight. My system's just had an absolute meltdown for some reason. So that's fine. Mike Farrow then up there. Mark DC up there as well. Mike Farrow all over the backside of Mark DC. Glenn Jacobs all over the backside of Justin Muntean. They've got 4, maybe again 5 still laps left to go. What is going to happen here? This is the battle for 2nd and 4th. Anything could happen is the answer with this division. We'll see what happens as Max Yang finally comes into the pits by the looks of it. So Glenn Jacobs getting the maximum amount of drive that he possibly can. He's hunting down that McLaren, which is no slouch on a straight line. But that Lexus is something else. But I think, is he going to be too far back to make the move? He certainly looks like he is. But he makes sure he gets a great entry into there. Much better entry by the looks of it than Justin Muntean. Justin Muntean forced to be narrow through here. Can that then lead to Glenn Jacobs maximising that exit and looking down the inside? He does, but then Justin Muntean tries to close it off. They're neck and neck. They're axle. They're front wheel to back wheel. Glenn Jacobs forcing his way through. A little bit of contact there by Justin Muntean. But to be fair to Glenn Jacobs, he does exist. You know, you got to account for it. And in the end, Glenn Jacobs making that move. The question is, what can Mike Farrow do? Can he make this move on Mark DC? Does he dare make this move on Mark DC, knowing that if there's contact, it could blow the championship right open into the final race? You don't want that sort of responsibility on your head.
No. As one of the head admins say during the driver briefings, you know, good old Jason, if you know, don't be responsible for ruining someone's championship, making a silly mistake. You don't want to be that guy. Especially when you've worked all season long and you know as much as that you would be in that same upsetting
Justin,
position.
we're looking
But
at
as
round
Peter
2
Pan,
then. Round 2.
Yeah,
Peter Pan,
I
Jordan
know.
Dana.
Oh
Peter
my
Pan going
goodness.
very deep.
Word.
Very deep.
Yeah. The camera switched over, and I was like, I don't know if this is this is where we want to be at this very moment. But I mean, it's all right. Oh, as we
Brian
get a yellow
Acombe's
flag.
gone. Brian Acombe is gone. What has happened here? Again, struggling with that corner as he comes back through. It's a tight right-hander I think he's going to struggle with. Loses the rear
He just
end.
accelerates.
Can he hold it?
Yeah.
He doesn't hold it. He's looking the wrong way. Oh, Brian. And there goes Andrew Hopkins. Probably with a classic Corvette finger out the window as he drives past, I would imagine.
Now, right? Remember we were talking about earlier about team championship. You know, both drivers being able to put themselves in a position. I mean,
Well,
let me just pull up my handy dandy sheet just to make sure I do not give incorrect information here.
look at Mike Farrow. He's got 2, maybe 3 laps left. He's all over the backside of Brian Acombe. He's obviously faster. He's obviously not going to make the move down the straight. He obviously has to wait for something like the tail end of Sector 1, the middle of Sector 2 to try and make that move. He needs to try and set himself up optimally to try and make anything happen as Brian Acombe, Mark DC goes a little bit wide. That leaves the door wide open. He's making the move that gives the Porsche all it needs to try and get down there. Their front axle to rear axle as they're going down into turn 1. This is the battle for second place. Mike Farrow backs out, but he hits him. He hits Mark DC under braking. What is going to happen then to Mark DC? He recovers it. It's not as devastating, and Mike Farrow then holds up as well, tries to let him go by. But you know what that does? Oh no, I was thinking that was maybe Glenn Jacobs up behind. It's certainly not. And I think that will probably be all she wrote. Car 689, Mike Farrow then really struggling to get back onto the track, but still maintains his position. What that does do for Glenn Jacobs, though, is gives him only a 6-second difference. Might be a bit too much to ask for, but what that certainly does do is probably gives the crown then to Mark DC in these final dying embers of the lap. Good sportsmanship from Mike Farrow. You know, mistakes happen. And he was trying to do the right thing in terms of backing out going into turn 1 anyway. He didn't want to make that inside move, but just really miscalculated the speed difference. They both braked at a similar time, but you know, you're always asking for a bit of contact there. But all is well that ends well.
I was gonna say, and that will also help in, you know, keep intact the team championship as well, not just this, you know, the overall champion of D6. Justin Monty being in 5th, you know, he's had a great drive, you know, even with Dylan Bonsall not here, to try to keep that team championship as close as possible.
Somebody who's going to regret sticking the middle finger out as they drove by is Andrew Hopkins, who's found themselves again facing the wrong way. Let's see what happens. Loses the rear end. Tries to get it back on. He's in a bad spot there to be facing the wrong way.
Thankfully, no one was nearby.
So that puts Andrew Hopkins then down into 12th place. That means Havoc Garzosi, Brian Acombe, Rohan Devanini. Rohan Devanini then up to 9th place from an astonishing pit lane start. He's had a fantastic drive, up 15 places, but our biggest gainer of the night, our biggest winner of the night, if you can include that when you're also talking about Mark DC winning the overall championship, is Glenn Jacobs, who started in 22nd place and is up 18 positions. A fantastic race then by Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Back of the grid racing right there to the front.
So as we go into the last couple of minutes, let's get the dialogue out of the way now, because Justin, talk to us about Mark DC's season. Talk to us about what he's done, how he's done it, and you know, and as he goes through these last few corners, the last couple of laps maybe. I think there's probably going to be one more lap after this to go through anyway for him, but What a season by Mark DC, who he struggled previous seasons, but it seems to have all come together for him this season.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much what we said every single week. Staying on the track, being consistent, keeping yourself out of trouble. I mean, Mark DC has found a way to do it every single week. Doesn't matter where he has started on the grid. I mean, even tonight, you know, didn't really talk too much about him about having fast times on during the quali, and lo and behold, here he is. Oh, Pookie, what happened, Pookie?
Contact between Mike Farrow and Jordan Pookie Dana. Then Mike Farrow coming up to lap Pookie Dana. Pookie going way wide through there. Go mounting all sorts of curb, and then just gets a nudge for good luck by Mike Farrow as he goes through.
He's like, please move. Please.
There we go, the final lap then, Justin. Sorry, continue what you were saying about Mark DC.
No, I mean, it's just talking about, you know, he may not be the fastest person out there, you know, every single race this season, but he has found a way to make himself be up in the top 3 every single week in and week out. I mean, honestly, tonight we haven't really talked too much about Garrett Lorpen, about how he's just absolutely has just been on a tear. Look at that. He's about to finish the race.
No. See, I think there's a bug. He's going to make it a second race. He's going to make
yeah. I'm just bugging.
The engine is never... I don't know. He gets confused sometimes.
I could have sworn that the leader was on the final lap.
No,
hey, you know.
no, you're fine. 478's had a spin. Who is 478? I've got to remind myself, that's Cardboard Smith.
Cardboard Smith.
Yep, he's still facing the wrong way. His car 333. That's Mark DC. Comes through to try and pit him, try and lap him. Doesn't.
You're trying to pit him.
He's thought, forget it. I've won it. I can be a menace now. Car 909 again. That's Matthew Hopkins, also with the yellow flag. But somebody, you're right. We haven't talked about Garrett Love, and it's not fair because he's been fast in the final few races of the season. He's had a lot of pace. He's struggled. He's had contact. He's either made contact or been involved in contact, which has seen him fall out of contention for a lot of podiums. Another solid driver this season. And finally, we're on the penultimate race of the season. We're finally getting to see just how fast Garrett Lorp is, especially I mean, what a fantastic move! It was Verstappen-esque at Imola last weekend into that turn 1 to get that lead, and he's just never lost it since, and it's just extended since. So it's been an absolutely fantastic race. He comes through the second to last corner as a car up ahead of him also goes off. But here he comes through then, the final chicane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Division 6. It's race number 7. It's Barcelona de Catalunya. And it is Garrett Lorp who wins Division 6, race 7 at Catalunya. And his first win of the season. So fantastic work, Garrett Lorp. Great work there. Mike Farrow having a bit of after-zen with Glenn Jacobs as we...
Mark DC.
Wait, Mark DC.
What just happened?
What is... We're going to have to go back and have a look. Let's just keep on track here because Glenn Jacobs, he's already in a podium position. We'll go back, guys, and find out exactly what's happened to Mark DC in a second. It's not going to impact his championship win. He's still got that championship win. And Mike Farrow's still going to hold on to it, is he? Is he? Yes, he is.
Yes, he
Mike
is.
Farrow holds on to it. Let's go back and see what happened then with Mark DC. Now, that's Peter Finpan up ahead. So let's see what's happened. It's a lapped car. He's trying to make the move. He slows down.
Wait.
Has he run out of fuel? He's run out of fuel. Mark DC has had disaster on the last lap. He's dropping down. He's 10th. He's 11th. He's stopped. He's stopped. It's disaster.
No
It's
way.
Absolute disaster. He's going to finish last place. Ladies and gentlemen, championship leader. He is out of this race. He's not going to qualify.
Mark DC, if you can hear us, you have to go into the pit and go and finish this lap, or I believe you don't get anything.
Get back out. Repit, get back out, Mark DC. If you can hear us, get in the pit lane and get back out and do the lap to finish the race. This is disaster, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean,
this is disaster.
This is the disaster we were talking about.
This is exactly what he didn't need to happen. I'm speechless. There he is, just sat in what would be what should be his place to do some donuts. Absolute disaster has struck here in Division 6 in the penultimate race of the season. The championship leader, who was only leading, well, he was leading by 70 points. This means for Dylan Bonsall, game on.
He had a chance next week, yeah.
Game on.
Yeah,
He's still not going back to the pits.
I was gonna say I believe that because the server technically will not end until.
We're gonna have to stick with it, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna have to see
I'm
what
curious.
happens.
Mike Farrell, be a good sport. Push this man across the finish line. Give him
Mike Farrell, give him a push.
I was gonna say, do the cars.
He is.
Is that what he is?
His teammate. It's Brian Acombe. He's giving him a push. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen it in sim racing. What is going on?
No way.
He is getting pushed around Sector 3 to finish. The safety rating's going to go through the floor, but nothing.
I mean, hey, listen. I have the utmost respect. This is by far the craziest thing I've ever seen.
What's going on?
And you tell him right now, you is gonna say, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, Mark DC, if you can hear us,
you need to
this guy deserves to be this guy deserves the donuts.
He deserves
at the end
the
of
donuts.
this. I just hope he doesn't get a huge track cut right here because of this season.
Can you imagine disqualified for track?
Oh my goodness.
I can't believe it, ladies and gentlemen. What are we with? Has the game just done him? Has the game just done him?
I think it might have.
Does it change? Does it change? It doesn't change.
No.
The game has done them. Out of an absolute show of chivalry, of class, of what makes teammates teammates, what makes the team series the team series. The game, assettocorsacompetizione, has closed on them. That is devastating. I can't believe what we have just witnessed. I can't believe it.
I mean, does that really mean that he didn't finish?
He doesn't classify. It's a DNF. Although it says it's finished on my screen. I don't know. I have no idea.
Let's hope so.
I don't know. I'm wiping away the tears of laughter in my eyes, but Justin, what have we just witnessed?
I have no idea what this. I mean, Mark DC was in the pathway to literally just having to finish the race where he was, even after the contact. 5th place would have been fine, and he ran out of gas. God. Which means, and if this is a DNF and he gets 0 points, that means that literally Dylan Bonsall, who was not here tonight, has a chance at the championship.
That is unbelievable. Dylan Bonsall absolutely thanking the ACC gods.
I gotta give it to Brian Acombe for driving all the way back around to give him the push to try to get him across the line so he doesn't get a DNF.
MVP of the race, MVP of the season, MVP of the entire league is Brian Acombe. So forget he you know what, Stewards, I'm calling it, give him a pass. Give him a pass. Okay. Whatever happened earlier in the race, look. We got to get onto the. We got to get.
I know that it just caught us so off guard. I can't even believe that just happened.
Right, let's see who we can grab then from the chat. It looks like we don't have the race winner in there, but we can certainly go ahead and bring in Mike Farrow then, who finished in the end P2. Let's drag him up into the chat. Where are we? There we go. Mike Ferry, sorry we're a bit later than normal. You know, a squeaky bum time when it came to the finish then with Glenn Jacobs after passing a fuelless Mark DC to claim second place.
It was more stress than I really wanted at the end of that race, that's for sure.
But it was a great race. You struggled with the last couple of races. They haven't been your circuits, but you know, Barcelona seems like it all came together for you.
Well, it was dry. I was crossing my fingers the whole time that it was going to be dry, and I got my wish.
And you got your wish. Well, look, that's awesome. Congratulations on your second podium of the season, if I remember correctly. Yep. Well, congratulations on that one. Who do you want to give a shout out to in, watching back at home, or teammates or anything like that?
I'll give a shout out to my wife as she sleeps on the couch watching the stream.
Oh, bless her. Well,
and I'll also give a shout out to my teammate.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What a race! Wow, what an ending! I don't know if you caught the end of that, the drama at the end of that one, but how are you feeling going into Imola? Have you done much Imola practice?
Well, I did a whole bunch for the registration for the start of the season, so I mean, I feel pretty good about the track.
Good.
Give myself a good bit of time of practice during the week, and hopefully I get on the podium again.
Well, that's what we like to hear. That's what we like to hear. So, but for now, we will leave you be, and all the best of luck with the practice this week. All the best of luck with the race next week, and fingers crossed we're speaking to you this time next week. Then on another podium place and round it off with 3 podiums for the season.
All right, boys. Have a good night.
Lovely job. Thanks so much, Mike. My mouse doesn't want to work, but I'm trying to move him back. There we go, Mike. And you got it. Right, let's go ahead and talk to third place then. Glenn Jacobs, teammate of Mike Cook. Let's bring him in. Glenn, apologies for the delay. I mean, we were just absolutely consumed with what happened with Mark DC at the end of that. But you managed to, what a race. What a race from you. You finished on the podium in the end. You could have had second place if things had gone your way. A bit more, but you were there to take the opportunities when they presented themselves. You were in the battles with a few cars going through there, but in the end, P3. You got to be ecstatic.
Yeah, I really am. I had a problem with my setup for qualifying.
Oh, okay.
I've been working on my setup all week. Like just little tweaks, and then I go out and I can't turn, and it's sliding all over the place. I look down, my TC's on 6. I have 61 liters of fuel.
Oh no.
Somehow my setup got corrupted or something. So I pulled off and jumped back in the pits and loaded a different setup, and then started out and looked up, and there's like a minute 42 left, and I was just coming out of the pits. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna get around to get a lap.
But it doesn't matter. You showed the pace, you had the pace, and you made it count in the end.
Dude, I went full bonsai at the start. I pulled
certainly
into the middle and just kept my foot in it. I swear I passed probably 8 or 9 cars on that front stretch going to 1.
Really? Wow. I suppose it's also a testament of Alexis on the straight line as well. But that was awesome. I mean, you were looking at one point like you were coming to save the day there for Mike Cook, but he had an unfortunate couple of incidents that made him drop down. But overall, a great result, I'd say, for Wreckham Racing, and certainly a good couple of performances, probably good 3-4 performances on the trot then for both of you guys as a team. What are you feeling going into Imola then in the last race of the season?
Imola has never been one of my best tracks, but I'm going to really work hard on it. I have a race on next Tuesday in a different community that's also at Imola.
Oh, okay. Right. So a good bit of practice then. Good bit of practice.
It'll be in a different car, but still track time is track time, and especially doing it with other guys on the track racing, that's the best experience.
Oh, 100%. Well, with that in mind then, mate, we are excited. Is Mike Cook racing in that other race with you as well?
Yes.
Well, then we're expecting a double podium then for Wreckham Team Racing come Imola. You know the rules, so you've been here before, so give your shout outs while you're here.
Of course, Mike Cook, my partner in all this. Appreciate him. The Wreckham Race Team guys, the Noobs RS guys. Appreciate all of them. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the SRA. It's my first season, and I've really enjoyed it.
That's awesome to hear. I'm so glad you've enjoyed it as well. And yeah, best of luck. I'll let you go back, and yeah, best of luck going into the final race of the season, sir.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, mate. Take care. Oh, yeah, I did put him back into the right chat. Now I'm gonna try, ladies and gentlemen. We will see what happens. I'm gonna bring Mark DC in because he's. I'm gonna bring him in. Mark, if you can hear me, you're coming in. Mark DC.
DC.
Hello. Mark DC.
I know we didn't want to.
Did I make it entertaining at the end?
You gave us a heart attack.
Rolling.
Now the question is, how many beers are you going to be buying and sending to your teammate?
I don't know. Did he do? I don't know how he did.
I mean, I don't know.
He pushed you across the finish line. That's what he did. The rest of it is irrelevant at this point.
I mean, we don't know. Did you technically finish in the end? From our perspective, it didn't have you down as finishing.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it should. I've seen this happen before, and I think it either puts you ahead of anybody that you lapped or something. Like, I think it goes by distance. So if I did more laps than somebody else, it might put me somewhere. But I don't know. I'm definitely nowhere near the top. I'm sure for that. But
wow.
That.
We'll see.
I mean,
we'll see.
You really just had to finish, and that would be. I mean, that would be the championship. I mean,
yeah.
That was.
Yeah. I was getting so excited, but yeah. Yeah. Did I get it? I don't know the whole thing. Like
we didn't see it turn checkered flag on our side.
Right.
Once the server ended, the session ended.
Yeah.
It was just before you crashed.
It was literally
100 yards before you.
Yeah, it was so close.
Yeah, and even after I crossed it, and it never went checkered for me. So.
We'll see. Either way, it set us up for an awesome last race. You're actually gonna have to try. You're gonna have to put some effort in.
Yeah, well, I was trying on this one. I mean, I was really hoping that we could fight for the team championship, so I was trying to stay in it as much as I could. Man, had such a good race with Pharaoh. He definitely deserved that P2. I don't know how we came together at the. I don't know if you guys caught that when we came together, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. I let him pass strategically in the first stint. I was hoping that him and Hastings, he was definitely quicker than me, so I was hoping that he give Hastings a good battle, and the undercut came through, and then after that, I was trying my best to keep him behind me, and it was only a matter of time. If it wasn't for that incident, I think he would have taken it.
I think it was a tricky one, that incident, to be honest with you. I don't know. And he showed sportsmanship. He backed off, and obviously.
I saw that he let me pass. I don't know how he ended up like 8 seconds behind after that.
Yeah,
after he let me pass.
I wasn't sure. We didn't catch exactly what happened with him. I think it was just a struggle to sort of get the car back underneath him. But yeah, I don't know. But were you not looking at your fuel as you were coming through? Was that?
I was not. No, I kept practicing and putting all these stupid strategies for this race, and I did everything in the rain. I just practiced in the rain, nothing but the rain, because I was like, if I could do well in the rain, I could adjust for the dry. And so I think my calculator was set up for rain averages, and so when I fueled up, I had enough for 5 extra minutes of fuel. And I think because it was dry, it just used up more fuel, and I just never looked at it. I didn't get the flashing light until the last lap, and then I put it on low fuel mode, and it just wasn't enough. So
I thought you tried to cut the track there to get it as much as you could.
I was like going in 6th gear the whole time, just trying to keep the RPMs low and everything. It just wasn't enough, but. Yeah,
well,
it was fun. It was
how
a fun way to finish.
You fast? You feeling fast?
No, not at all. Not at all. But then again, I've been feeling this way this whole time. I wasn't feeling. I was not expecting to finish as high as I did here. minus the fuel issue at the end. So at this point, I don't know. I just gotta give it our all, and hope that we get a team finish. That would be really amazing. I don't know how much we screwed up in the points at this point, but
yeah. So I mean,
we'll push.
Bonzo is 73 points behind you. So I think, and barring again, just dude, put full fuel. All right, let's just just 120 liters.
Absolutely. I will definitely do that.
I think if as long as you don't run out of fuel, and as long as you don't have an absolute crazy disaster again. I think it's pretty much
like
yours,
I said last week, you never know how these things turn out.
Well, while you're here,
we'll try our best.
While you're here, you get the chance to give a shout out. So as you know, go ahead and do it, even though you technically didn't finish the race and didn't finish on the podium. We'll give you a chance to give a shout out, especially to Brian. But yeah, you go ahead and get your shout outs while you're on it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, always a shout out to Brian, my teammate. But Queasy, I gave you a shout out, I think, at the beginning.
Yeah.
Watching the broadcasts, and you guys do a great job. And but Justin, you've been a great supporter and trying to keep the curses off of me, and I really appreciate it. So Justin, I got to give you a shout out. Thank you for the support on the broadcast, and just both of you guys, of course. But
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for what you guys do, and
that's very kind. Yeah. Thank you. You make it easy with endings like that, mate. You make it easy.
Thank you.
We'll let you get back to it. I don't know if there's much of a debrief left, but we'll let you go back to it, Mark. And
cool.
Hopefully we'll see what happens with the final race of the season. But good luck in the week leading up to it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
bye.
Man. So Justin, we're not going to go over the race again. We need to catch our breaths. If you want to watch the race again, it's on YouTube. Rewatch it. I'd recommend fast forwarding to the last 2 minutes of the race. But
give it a like.
Give it a like as well. Yeah, 100%. We didn't do that today. Give it a like at least, for the sake of Mark DC's fuel. Give it a like. And
if you like SRA, subscribe to SRA. I'm just gonna plug everything like I do again.
Yeah. No, 100%. And we've got one more race, guys, and it is wide open.
I was gonna say, and if you thought it was gonna be a little bit off because we started tonight talking about where everybody was placed. Well, guess again. It's wide open.
I think it really is, especially in the silvers. I mean, between the silver, again, you've got Sean Paul. Now this is preliminary. Obviously, there's penalties left, but you've got Travis Fletcher in second place, 32 points behind. Peter Pan, 34 points behind. Jeremy Ran, 53 points behind. So you've got already 4 drivers, including Sean Paul, where anything could happen. So we've got a situation that we didn't think we'd be in, guys, where tune in next week, because the Drivers' Championship will only be decided on the very last lap, and once all those cars have crossed the finish line at Imola. So from me, Jay Queasy, and from my co-commentator
Justin Rosenthal. I wanted you to say something. I wanted you to say something today.
Yeah, no. It's the Atlantic delay. It's fine. They're doing the news. But from us here at Division 6 commentary team for SRA, thank you guys so much, and we will see you this time, a bit earlier, 9 PM Eastern, next Wednesday for the conclusion of what's just been a crazy season 14.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sim Racing Alliance. It's season 13. We are starting out tonight strong.
As they do go side by side. It is the formation lap almost done. They will look. All eyes to the lights. That's going to be an amazing start.
And we have a crash in turn 1 already. What's going on? On 2, the bus stops straight, goes for it around the outside.
More contact behind. That is huge. A couple of gainers in that one.
She's giving it everything. She has to. I'm not sure, but it's over yet, though.
This is the last opportunity. We're off and away for SRA.